I'm Casey Simmons. I am with Quiksilver. I've been there for a little over 3 years. I'm fortunate to be moderating this panel with some amazing panelists that I've gotten to meet and get to know over the past couple weeks. So let's start with intros, guys.
Hi, I'm Jacqueline Alston. I'm the digital marketing manager for Hager.com. We are a men's apparel brand. We are about to hit our centennial, so we are an established legacy brand. America's #1 best-selling dress pant brand, not your grandpa's pants. So feel free to check us out and see what we're doing over there. I specialize in email and SMS, but I've kind of gathered things throughout the years, and I call them my odds and ends. But here today to talk about loyalty.
Everybody, my name is Mike McGee. I'm the head of customer experience at Mugsy. At Mugsy, we make damn comfortable and insanely good-looking clothes for guys who want to make the most out of their lives. We've got a lot of people in the audience that are wearing some Mugsies, but we specialize in stretchy jeans, and that's kind of how we were founded, and now we're a full-fledged brand. We've actually got a store a couple blocks away, and Aaron yesterday talking about all the jackets, and I swapped out my jacket for a jean jacket, so if you're in the market for one of those, head to the store. Mike's a big brand advocate for us, so thanks, Mike. And yeah, excited to talk about how loyalty looks for us.
Awesome. I'm Natalie Olson. I am the Director of Marketing Technology Product Management at Neiman Marcus. Neiman Marcus is a luxury retailer, so we like to keep it bougie over here. I've been there for about 10 months. I was at Nordstrom for 10 years before that, so very much in the retail space for a while, and love to talk about some customer loyalty.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. So first off, let's just start simple. How are you guys internally, considering a customer loyal? Is it an email sign up? Is it a loyalty account? Is it just your top customer that you checked on Shopify the other day? How are you guys defining that internally and grouping them?
Yeah, so at Hager, we do have the dedicated stereotypical series, your welcome series, abandoned cart, abandoned browse, things like that. We also build off of those based on a couple of propensity scores, one being if you're price sensitive or not. We are a very promotional brand, so as we try to become a more elevated look and feel, we're trying to reverse the nomenclature that Hager is cheap. So trying to pull back on those discounts, but we do have those long-standing programs that are considered loyalty. But another way that we are actively engaging our consumer is through segmented audiences, and one of which is that we call our life cycle program. One, it's a two-pronged system, one being time sensitive. If you purchased this pant 12 months ago, it's probably time for a new one. The second being our legacy styles getting upgraded, getting a new fresh face, look and feel. So if you bought this legacy program and we've come out with a new iteration, it's time to upgrade. And we reward those people for being a repeat purchaser by letting them be the first to know when we have new products launch, getting them exclusive styles, sampling, and things like that. Not a traditional loyalty program, but still rewarding in and of itself.
Amazing. Mike?
Yeah, so we look at loyalty from a little bit of a different lens. We don't have a loyalty program, and we're not very promotional. We try to stay as full price as we can. And I think from my perspective as head of customer experience, the product and the experience are what defines our loyalty. So when somebody tries on a pair of jeans like I did 5 years ago, you realize how different they are and how much more comfortable. So super stretchy jeans, we were one of the pioneers, we think, in creating more stretch in jeans, but also the softness to it. So I think when I think about loyalty and I think about relationships, a lot of that has to do with how I experience a person or a product or a brand. And when I put on a pair of jeans and they're comfortable and super stretchy, and we talk to customers that talk about they meditate in their jeans, and then they go to work, and then they go to the bars, and they fall asleep in their jeans. And that to me is how I think about how is somebody loyal. Are they going to want to come back to us and not be transactional and, here's this deal, here's this promotion, but I want another pair. I want 5 pairs in 3 different colors because I want to wear these every single day. And that's how we kind of look at it from a loyalty perspective.
I love that. Yeah, I think Neiman is big into the relationship business as well. I would say for us, it's when a customer goes past that one and done kind of shopping experience and chooses to come back again and again. So for us, we look at different signals and behaviors that the customer may take that tell us that they are engaged. We have sales associates in stores, so we often see that if a customer has that SA relationship and that more personal touch, they're much more engaged, they spend more with us, so that's a big part of the experience for us too. So we also have a loyalty program that we are reinventing as we speak, but I see loyalty programs as sort of like a tool, a lever that you can harness to help you drive customer loyalty. But the concept of customer loyalty is much broader than just who is in our loyalty program.
I think one more thing that's interesting and is hard, I see it myself as a consumer. 5 years ago, or 7 years ago, I worked for Under Armour, and I was a former athlete, and head to toe I would wear the entire brand, and that I was loyal to the brand. I wanted to wear that all the time. And now I look at my closet, I look at my wardrobe, and I have a shoe brand, I have a hat brand, I have a shorts brand, I have a t-shirt brand. And all of those brands are new e-commerce brands that are doing similar things to Muggsy. And I think to expect a consumer to want to be loyal is, I think, Aaron, you said it, it's like little L versus big L. How do we engage in an experience that they can know the brand, know what the product is going to tell them about how they're going to feel, and try to compete with all the different attention? And that's how you drive loyalty. Not so much that they're going to buy only from you and they're never going to buy another pair of jeans or another brand. I think it's looking at it from a different lens and understanding how do we make great product, great customer service, great website experience so that somebody wants to come back to us and we don't have to throw a discount at them or a promotion or an upsell to get them to come back.
Awesome. On that note, I know, Natalie, you're working on a new loyalty program, but also for you guys, like, what are some things that you're doing differently or new? So you already mentioned how you're defining loyalty internally, but like, are you trying new things? Like, I know, Mike, when we talked earlier, you guys were doing kind of like a research study amongst your customers. Can you expand on that and like what came from that?
So we talked to about 150 customers at the beginning of this year. We basically told them, hey, we'll give you a free pair of jeans if you'll spend 15 minutes talking to us. And it was customers that had really high LTVs and then also customers that had bought with us and returned and never came back. So it was great to understand how they're speaking about us, what other brands they buy, and then like how they found us. And I think that helps us to figure out, what is that loyalty roadmap look like, and how do we take those customers that are buying from us and make something impactful. And one of the things that we found that we've done over the holidays that's done really well is gift with purchase. So it's not a discount, but we can give away a belt or a pair of socks. And right now we're trying t-shirts that are branded. We're going to do hats soon. And we're actually surveying customers right now for Q4 of, hey, like, what would you want to get as a gift with purchase if we didn't promote and we just said, hey, during Q4, we're going to give something away if you spend X amount. And I think right now, like, we have dot bags, we have beanie hats, we have all these different crazy things that we're asking our customers. And I think, again, like, we exist because customers buy our product. So to try to figure it out ourselves, sometimes we get too in the weeds and we're just too close to the brand to figure that out. But being able to get their feedback is huge to be able to determine how do we keep people loyal. Two other things that we do, or one other thing we do is a cashback program. So instead of you talked about welcome series, when you have every customer sign up for a 10% off discount to get their email, 100% of those people are going to take the 10%. We've partnered with a cashback program where we give 20% back on the next order, and then we actually upsell the gift card option. So somebody purchased from us for $100, they get $20 cash back to them after a certain period of time. And we've seen the opt-in rates decrease an insane amount, so we're saving so much more money on the first order. And then we're also incentivizing, if you select a gift card for our store, you'll get 30% cash back instead of 20%. And I think in some ways that's almost kind of a loyalty program because we're kind of incentivizing a second purchase. We're giving somebody a reward for spending full price with us the first time. And it's been really beneficial over the last 6 months.
Yeah, that's amazing. For the gift with purchase, just curious, you have seeded like a tee or a beanie. Did you happen to notice if there was an uplift in sales after that gift with purchase, just because you're like showcasing a new product or something that maybe they don't typically buy from you? Because you say that most people are coming for jeans, right?
Yeah. We haven't seen the data yet on that. I know our LTVs and AOVs have gone up because we're incentivizing something at a higher threshold. But we're still trying to figure out, like, does somebody that gets a tee versus that doesn't opt for that free tee or free hat, what does that LTV look like? And I think it's we're a smaller company, so we've got a lot of hats that we're wearing, and trying to dig into data, I think, is an opportunity for us in the future to say, as we're A/B testing some of these offers and as we're seeing the data come in, like how do we measure what is successful? But we're at the outset, we are seeing that a higher LTV and a higher AOV.
Awesome. Outside of discounting, cashback, gift with purchase, anything, Natalie or Jacqueline, that you guys have been trying or are kind of like on the horizon to get people to come back?
Yeah, so with the mentioned abandoned browse program, it works very similarly to abandoned cart. It's just browsing on site, maybe not adding something to your physical cart, your shopping cart, but they'll still showing intent to abandon. We're creating tiers, so the customer can receive a coupon, no coupon offer, depending on if they are price sensitive, if they are motivated by a discount or not. And for those that are not motivated by a discount, we would potentially offer incentives in other ways, whether it be, we'd also do a referral program. We do the post-purchase review insights for free product and things like that. They're more inclined to go that route instead of being promotionally driven. So that's something that we do on almost every journey that we have, which is probably 6 or 7 different on site currently.
Okay. Natalie, anything you can share?
Yeah, I think one thing that you brought up, I'm curious to hear what you learned from your customer research, but when we look at customer data and those kind of insights, one thing that we often see is like the points of friction are often where you fail. I feel like we talked about this in the hallway too. So it's not just about addressing like how it's abandoned cart, yes, it's all those things, but it's also like what's getting in the customer's way, what left a bad taste in their mouth, and they're like, I never want to come back because I had a really bad experience, right? So how do we make good on those moments, like find the signal of that moment, make good on it, and hopefully address those areas of friction that ultimately just make them feel like that's not a retailer. I could go somewhere else. Like you said, we want them to be loyal, but it's very easy to shop around today. And we know even customers that are top spenders for us are top spenders everywhere else too. So we really have to address those points of friction, I think is a big thing. And then a vehicle that we have to do that as well as nurture the relationships are our SAs, our sales associates. So we're very fortunate to have that. But I would just say addressing friction is not to be forgotten for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think the other side of my role is operations. So I get to work with our warehouse, I get to work with our customer service team to understand what's happening and how are we making sure that orders are getting out on time. You purchased a pair last night and they
Yesterday,
shipped.
and
Yep.
they've already shipped.
Shipped today.
So shout out to Muggsy.
We have some great partners that allow us to be able to do that. And I think, again, friction, part of the process is, hey, I bought something today. Like, I order sometimes from a brand and I forget that I order, and then I'm like, wait, what, did it ship? And we try to make sure that all of our communication flows are getting out on time, that they're triggered so that the customer is aware of like, hey, this is coming. And those are also marketing moments because as a customer is seeing all these other brands, you get the opportunity to like, hey, we're still here, we're shipping your product. How fast you can get it to them compared to Amazon is always our benchmark. And then customer service, a quick story that we found last week. We had a customer that their package got lost in transit. We were working with them to get another package out, and they were texting with our customer service rep, and they sent this, I did not make this up, they sent a text that was to the effect of like, Uber, Apple, and Muggsy, like 3 innovative things that like I'm a brand ambassador forever, and the customer likened us to Uber and Apple, and it kind of was for us like, wow, that's very different. We don't see ourselves in that regard, but it was a testament to, again, like the loyalty of a customer to, and I think as we look at it from the surveys that we did, we get reviews, customer feedback, and customer service tickets, like we try to take all of that into account, figure out how's the customer speaking about us. So then, like, our marketing team can go and turn that into an ad and say, like, hey, like, this is, I don't know, there's probably some creative AI way to put those 3 brands together somehow. But
Without getting sued.
right,
Yeah.
it's careful.
No limits.
But again, like, how do we listen to customers and make sure that the pain points that they're having in the different places that they are, whether it's a review on the product or a customer service feedback, and make sure that we're solving for those so that great products can get to the customer on time and that they want to do that experience again.
Yeah, and speaking of pain points on site and getting down into the weeds, you really do need to remove yourself and understand what your customers are looking for. We added a feature on our checkout page that added, based on the tier of shipping you're purchasing, the arrival date, the expected arrival date of the product, and we saw a conversion rate drop significantly. And it was a liken to it wasn't going to arrive in time. Like, I need it for X date. So even though in theory that sounds like a great innovation, giving the customer more insight, giving them transparency on their order, it actually backfired. So we had to reel that one back in. But understanding those pain points, we as marketers and e-commerce managers thought that that was a great way to give the customer more information. And we had to learn the hard way that that was not the case. Had we listened to them or quizzed them, it may not have been such a detrimental strong, but something that we had to take back in.
Test and learn. Test
Exactly.
And learn. Yeah. So on that note, are there any tools or things that you guys can share within your tech stack? Plugins on Shopify or partners that you guys have been working with that have been really great in making sure that the experience is good for your customer or getting them to come back and be loyal?
Yes and no. So Hager specifically, 80% of our business is wholesale. So you see us in anywhere from Nordstrom to Target, and we're in every single one of those doors, Macy's, Kohl's, JCPenney, et cetera. And those businesses have very well-established loyalty programs, and they are very keen to keep their customers in that loyalty program. So we work not necessarily on the tech side or incorporating this into Hager.com, but we work with our retailer partners very closely to understand why the Hager customer is returning to purchase with them and encourage that behavior.
Awesome. I know even in the hallway just now, we were talking about Route.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how you're using that.
Yeah, I think another part of the experience for customers is when something ships to them, they hope that it gets there and it gets to their, whether it's a mailbox or P.O. box, and the idea that something could get lost because it's sitting there is a little bit overwhelming. So we've partnered with Route and you guys were talking about partnering with them too, to enable our customers to have that package protection so that they know when they order Route, it will get to them, whether it's the first time or the second time. So that's been a great kind of tool, I guess, to add to the stack. For us, we're growing very rapidly, and we're not as advanced in time. You mentioned 100 years. We're almost at 10. So as we continue to grow, these conferences are great to learn from all of you to understand like what are the tools that are out there, and as well as people on the panel. What are the tools that are out there for when we get to certain milestones that we can invest in to better understand our data, better understand our customer. And I think we've taken the approach of just like, let's just go one-to-one and talk to people and really get some insights. And if we do that enough over the course of a year, we should have enough of a playbook to say, this is where I think we are. And it's just constantly doing that.
Awesome. Natalie, anything you can share?
Okay, this is a loaded question for me because
You can also say no.
Yeah, no, I'll talk. Well, what I will say is I love, obviously I'm a product person. I nerd out on this type of stuff. But because I nerd out on this, like, I don't really feel like there's one right answer to tell a room full of people. For me, the right tech decisions are really about, like, where are you trying to take your marketing program? What's your vision? What's your strategy? What are your friction points? Like, where are your gaps? What's getting in your way? And finding the right tech strategy to kind of, like, attack that. So, I don't really think we just did a CDP RFP, so I could talk about that a little bit. I'm not going to tell you who we picked. But there's a ton of great CDPs out there, and depending upon where your own internal data is at, what you need from that CDP, like there's such a broad spectrum of different platforms you can choose from. So it's really about finding the right tech that's really rooted in what are the use cases you're trying to solve for, operationally, who's going to be working on those platforms, what does that look like, and again, what are your vision and your goals for it. So I don't necessarily think there's like one that's like, oh, if you're going to pick a CDP, this is it. But yeah, there's a lot of great stuff out there. Obviously, I could nerd out about AI a lot too if we want to get down that path, but yeah.
Awesome. Mike, I know that you've mentioned like you guys are really big on reviews. You guys really take that in. You've been surveying your customers. How are you gathering that data internally and sharing it up? Is it making it to the product people? Like,
Yes.
are they making changes and enhancements to make the pants more stretchy?
Yes,
Like,
yes, we are.
What are we doing?
Maybe not more stretchy. We've got plenty of stretch, and at some point it starts to get outside of the jeans domain. But I think product is at the forefront of our brand, and our founder went and found the right fabric to be able to create the brand to what it is with stretchy jeans. And every product that we create, whether it's denim jackets or shirts or chinos or shorts, comfort and making sure that we have a reason to make those is always at the forefront. So reviews are a big part of that. Customer feedback and surveys are also a big part of that. Like, what else would you want from us was a question that we asked a lot of those customers. We did surveys about a year and a half ago, and from that created a golf line. So very small, and we're just starting that, but pants then translates to golf. So we're trying that out and just trying to listen to customers. But I think at the end of the day, for loyalty and experience, like, the product is what makes the brand. So whether it's luxury items or pants for us, jeans, that's what people are buying from you, and that's how they know you. So really focusing on how to make great product with great partners is how I think we would measure up the reviews and make sure that the communication's there. Being a small team and there's only a few people, it's very easy for us to say, hey, we found this review, or hey, there's a review of all the reviews from last week. But taking that feedback and making sure it goes back in the product is always paramount for us.
Yeah, that's great. I think sometimes we forget, it's just like, what are we here for? And why are we a brand, and what distinguishes us? We sometimes forget that and get lost in the SMS, loyalty program, push notifications, all the things. And it's like, wait, people are coming back because they like the product. So that's great. I think it's time for questions.
I will call on someone if no
Don't-
one raises
don't be
their
shy.
hand. So
If you have a denim jacket, she will
Yeah,
choose.
raise your hand.
you're giving away my
One a
secrets.
denim jacket. They're not far away.
I will say, I know that sport coats are a no-no, apparently, but I did have a code for you guys if you want to wear a sport coat on your own time. Not our time here, but if you just use media post on Hager.com, hopefully you guys can understand who we are and like the younger version of Hager.
Hey, yeah, give it up for Media Post. Yeah.
Does it
Haggard,
come with
thank you.
sequins?
Okay, it's gonna be.
This is a one of a kind. This
We're
is not
doing.
Hager.
We're moving to sports coats only now going forward for all of our
Exactly.
summits.
Slowly but surely over time, we'll change your mind.
I have one for the group. Who stands out to you right now, whether or not professionally you see somebody doing something really great, or personally? Like, what keeps you coming back to a brand? Like, is it your local coffee shop? Is it your favorite pant? Like,
Yeah.
who's doing it?
So Mike nailed it. I feel like, especially with younger generations, it is not, I'm shopping head to toe one brand. I am shopping loyal in this category for this product. For me personally, Ulta, their loyalty program is unparalleled. Like, it is top notch, and it's because it has an incredible product assortment. They're rewarding you for your shopping behavior, but also they drive sales based on specific products or categories at their determination, which I think as a marketer is genius. So me personally, I look to Ulta professionally and personally.
Okay.
I mean, I have two, but so no, that's okay. I think Amazon obviously is like a so obvious one, but the reason I love Amazon's loyalty program is because it really, like Prime, I think that's obvious, right? Is because it really started with them being grounded in like, where do we want to be differentiated as a brand? So what sets us apart, and then where are we not meeting that standard? So for me, Prime really started because they were like, we need to deliver convenience to our customers. And so they got us as Prime members to pay for the convenience that then they offered to us as 2-day free shipping, right? So I just think that's awesome, right? Like, the fact that sometimes I think Amazon is a brand that we love to hate, but we all still shop there all the time and probably have 10 things in our cart and are paying them to give us the convenience that is ultimately part of their brand DNA. So I think in that sense that we love to hate them, but we still can't not shop with them.
Yeah, hate to love them, love to hate them.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I think that's pretty
I
badass.
think they did that at Topgolf yesterday. If anyone was
Yeah.
at Topgolf, you had to fill out your birthday, where you were born.
Yeah.
Last
Yeah.
4 of your social.
I was like, goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Who paid
I mean,
for
I'm
this?
from the Pacific Northwest too, so Amazon's Pacific Northwest, Seattle. Also Costco, we got to talk about Costco. I love Costco because They also know their brand very well. They are not a digital-first company because they're like, that's not where our business strategy sticks. We need people indoors coming to the store. They're very smart about how they lay out the store. They got the bananas and the chicken breasts way in the back. You got to go through all the new stuff that, like, my kids are like, I really need that inflatable, like slides, like water slide. That every time I go into Costco, my kids are trying to convince me to buy that inflatable water slide for $500 that we don't have room for. So yeah, they're just really smart about their merchandising strategy. The trip drivers, how to bring you in, and then how to really catch your eye with all that stuff. You ultimately are like, how did I just spend $500 at Costco?
On a slide.
On a slide.
Awesome. Let's give it up for our panel of experts.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.